Today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing a Patreon VGC team fixing, but we're going to be doing it live. I'm live on Twitch right now. I just turned my stream on, and today's team uses Tyranitar, Great Tusk, Fluttermane, Iron Hands into the Armourouge. It's made by, let's find the actual post and move my webcam around. Look at this. This is the actual official VGC team submission post for Patreon. If you guys have a team you want me to take a look at, think about checking out the Patreon. This team is made by Structuralist. They have a Poke Paste, got a rental code. Nice to see some EVs on this one. They have good reasons for what this team does. They have like all the... They're using a lot of bulky mounts, like Bulky Tusk, Bulky Titar, Bulky Mane. And they say what the team's good against. They explain their Terras, and they really just want me to take a look at the team. The one thing I noticed after looking at the team, I was like, wow, these are all really, really good mons. I'm super excited to use this team. I'm looking at the Titar set, and I'm like, I can optimize this. I can optimize this. I can optimize this. I can optimize this. There's no Trick Room here. There's no Trick Room here. Right? So, I'm like, this is a Trick Room team with literally no speed control at all. So, we're going to have a hard time playing the actual games with this team. But we know exactly what we need to fix. We need to add a little bit of speed control to the team. And I do think, on paper, this team still is good. If you actually go back and take a look at that official team submission post, they said that what this team does is it excels at, like, punishing all these other cores like Mouse Ape, Goldango teams, and all these other things. And I think what this player that submitted this team, Structuralist, did was they're used to, like, reacting to other teams instead of being the one to dictate plays. So what we're going to be doing when we fix this team and change all the EVs and the moves is give them a little bit more proactive power instead of reactive power. Because right now they're hoping that their opponent leads with what you want them to lead, and then they punish them for leading it before they can get up their speed control. They're punishing speed control instead of their own. And what we want to do is force our opponent to punish our speed control before we think about punishing theirs. So that's what we're going to be doing today. That is what we're going to be doing today, and hopefully we go get some wins. First game, we're going up against Javier Palafin. I saw something in my Discord, and they were saying, like, I can't wait for Ludicolo. And they were talking about how Ludicolo is going to make rain so good, and I was like, man, Ludicolo is going to literally end Palafin's existence. Like, Palafin is not going to be a happy camper when Ludicolo hops on the field. But let's see. We have no speed control, and we don't already outspeed these things. Remember, we're running, like, a bulky Flutter and a bulky Tusk, and the only Pokemon that has literally any speed investment on this team is Armourouge. So what we can try and do is lead Armourouge. One of the things they said in their team building submission was that they like to switch in the Entity to enable the Expand Force because their opponents don't really see it. That's super, looks good on paper, but not really good in theory because it, I guess the best way to explain it is if it takes a turn to switch in your Mon, just to enable you to do a little bit more damage, you'd be more effective at having another Mon on the board. We're actually going to lead Entity and swap it out for Titar to take away the rain from the Pelipper. And then, like, I literally don't know what we want. I think we have to bring Hands, and I'm not a big fan of Hands in this matchup, but I think you have to bring it. And we can't bring a Fluttermane that's, like, slower than any of those things. Like, Fluttermane would just get absolutely rocked by, like, all this Pokemon. I think there's nothing inherently wrong with, like, a heavy HP defense Fluttermane, but heavy defense Fluttermane with the Life Orb really, really clashes. We don't have Intimidate, we don't have Screens. It just makes it really, really hard to use. So let's go. Palafin Roaring Moon. Awesome. So one thing about Palafin is that it's probably not going to be doing anything this turn. I wonder what that Roaring Moon is going to do. And are we using Armor Cannon Armourouge? We are. Okay. We have Deep Gleam on the Entity, I think. And so I wish we could just set Trick Room, bro. Game would be literally over. What are we going to boost to? Speed or attack? Attack. Cool. We would literally just get the win if we could just set Trick Room right now. Easiest peasiest. I'm going to go for the Deep Gleam. And I think I'm going to... I still want to click Expanding, actually, because you would just melt the Palafin. And you would be able to KO the Pelipper with this. And I guess they'd be able to KO one of my Mons. But, like, which one? Do we have Fairy Tare on this Entity or not? And Normal. There's nothing really wrong with Normal. It should be Fairy. We could just protect the Armourouge here. But if they go after the Entity slot with like a Throat Chop, we would just lose. You see how we have absolutely zero control of the situation? Whereas normally we would have full control of the situation. Full. We're going to just do this. It's so passive and I don't like it. And it's a 50-50 here. It's just a 50-50. Are you hitting Entity or are you hitting Armourouge? And we lost the 50-50. That's literally, do you see how we would be so fine if we had Trick Room? So fine. But instead, it's 0% win rate now. 0. So you scoop. That's all you can do. Nothing you can do in that situation. But you see the slide additions were like unwinnable matchup. And it's just because they have speed control. Just because they have speed control. So when we're coming at this with something like, if we're taking a look at our team again and we move things around, right? The T-Tar has no investment in speed. The Great Tusk has no investment in speed. The Flutter, which would normally outspeed that Roaring Moon and be the thing that we would use to force the Roaring Moon to Terra to do other things, no speed, so we can't even use it. We could use it as a bluff, but like that's a really risky bluff on turn 1. Hands could have potentially like been a lead, but it's not like great, and it's not great against their team as a lead. And then no Trick Room, and then no Trick Room. If we had Trick Room, then the game was 100% over, but we didn't. So it is what it is. So speed control can get like a little bit complicated. What you need to be doing is using your base speed tiers or any sort of like damage or speed multipliers like choice scarfs or booster energies to force your opponent to meet you at your speed level. And if they can't meet you at your speed level, they need to set speed control, and then you can punish them for doing it. If you're just trying to punish them without actually having control of the board, you just automatically lose. So against this board, they have one mon that's fast in the Masquerada, and technically the what is that? The Iron Moth. But I think we should be fine. We don't want to necessarily lead like T-Tar or Great Tusk or Hands into this because we would get big intimidated and potentially burned by Arcanine. Let's see, we have Ghost Terra T-Tar, Steel Terra Great Tusk, Fire Terra Hands. So that's actually good that we have Fire Terra Hands. I think if we also had Volt Switch on Hands, that'd be really, really nice. Let's think about what we need to do here. I think you could maybe lead Hands, so it can bait an Armory Switch in. And then I don't know what I want to do with Flutter because we have like no good switch-ins if we have Hands on the board. I guess we just have Protect, and then we swap out Hands for Armor Rouge. I don't dislike that. And I'm thinking if we even want to go T-Tar, I'm looking at this. I think you have to go NDD to be able to stop that Palafin from just absolutely tearing us apart in the late game. I don't really like NDD here, but I think it's probably the right play. And like AV Great Tusk, I personally feel that like AV Great Tusk is a bit of a struggle. Just because you have like Headlong Rush and other moves that drop your stats, and so like going heavy bulk onto a Great Tusk is just super redundant in my opinion. Alright, so there's the Arcanine and the Meowscarada. This is a good lead for them. I think we can probably get away with like... You could probably get away with a fake out here. It sucks we're intimidated, right? But I think we're fine. And even if you burn into the Hands isn't super important here. We could also just fake out the Meowscarada, fake out the Arcanine and Armor Cannon the Meowscarada into like next turn going for a pivot in of NDD expanding. I'll try that. You have to Grass Terra here though. And we would big damage from U-turn. And if they're sashed, that's really bad. You know what? I don't really mind if we get burned. I'm just going to Drain Punch Meowscarada and Protect. Yeah. I don't want to Fire Terra here either. Don't think it's worth it. So let's see what they're going to do. I would not be surprised to see Will-O-Wisp for Snarl knock off another Armor slot was super telegraphed. Like, I mean, it should be, right? Holy moly, yeah. I'm like, not letting that one happen. Holy moly. And let's see what they're going to do here. Wisp, yeah. I could have Fire Terra to stop that. It's not worth it. It's not worth it on the first turn. Not worth it. We just want to break the Meowscarada Sash, and then next turn, we can pivot in and do a couple other things. This should still do like half, by the way. Yeah, good damage. Cool. So they're within range for Armor Cannon here. And it sucks Hands is burned, but it's basically just going to be a fake out bot in the late game. So we could swap in NDD and maybe not die on that slot over there. I wish we had Volt Switch. Volt Switch would be super, super good here. It's so weird to see Protect on Hands. Yeah, I don't think it was worth it to do the Protect there. We're like intimidated too. I think what we're going to do is just hard switch in NDD. And I actually think we're going to go for the expanding. I want to go for the expanding into the Arcanine slot. And if they go for like a Snarl, they go for a Snarl. They should be just staying with Meowscarada, but like it's going to be fine. Because Meowscarada can get taken out by the Hands when we come back in. Yes, we're burned, but we're going to be unintimidated, so we'll be able to just Drain Punch, finish it off. Or we can go for like a Dazzling or something next turn, depending on what they do. They're going to knock off our Twisted Spoon, which is another weird item choice, I would say. That is, I would say, suboptimal in this Pokemon. And we're going to go Terrastallize Grass just so we don't get OHKO'd by knockoff. We might take a lot from knockoff if they're banded. Like, if they're banded, we might just still die. I'm not going to lie. Because we have 0 investment in bulk. We're full HP. Sorry, we're full speed special attack on this Armorage. Knockoff's fine. Oh, they go for the Entity. That doesn't KO because we used our item. That's another reason why I want to switch in that slot. Snarl's fine. Doesn't KO the Entity. I wonder how much damage their Arcanite's going to take from this. It's good that they didn't crit the Entity. That would have gotten the KO there. So next turn we can just go like Redirection Armor Cannon if we want. Life Orb Entity's okay. Yo, we got a sub, dude. Thank you. Is it Citrus? No Citrus Arcanine. Thank you. Thank you so much for the sub. Appreciate it. Hopefully having a good time. In this situation, I don't think there's actually a problem with going for Protect Entity and just going for an Armor Cannon to get the Mouse Guard off the board. This is their fastest Pokemon. Once it's off the board, we're going to have a little bit more freedom, just a little bit, and then elongating Entity's presence on the board is going to be really, really nice. And you can go for another Snarl, you can do basically whatever you want. We can switch all these things out. Yeah, Arcanine's going to be protecting, like, we don't even have to take the bait into that slot this turn. And they should definitely be knockoffing into our Armors. They definitely should. I don't know if they will. Oh, dude, they thought we were going to swap it out. Entities don't always carry Protect, so, yeah, in that situation, they should have tried to be forcing us to go for a Follow Me. They really wanted that Entity on, though. And now Entity's going to stick around, so if they send out something faster, I'll be able to redirect that Pokemon's first attack and basically waste their time. Let's think about what we need to do here, though. Iron Moth. I mean, absolutely massive damage. That is going to be something that's faster. I wonder... Let's see, is boost to speed or special attack? Special attack. That's dicey. We're at -1, but I still think we OHKO them. So, like, I'm going to go for the Follow Me here. I kind of want a Helping Hand, though. We don't need to. They're going to Terra. So we're going to Follow Me. And we're just going to Expanding. I don't think we die. Don't think we die. So, let's see. Pivot out Arcanine, huh? For Tinkaton. Okay, Tinkaton eats that super, super well. They have AoE options with the Moth. Let's see what they're going to do. Terrastallize. Okay. This is still going to do a lot. This is Twisted Spoon. We're -1, but we have terrain and stuff up. So let's see what they're Terrastallizing into. Ground Terra. Okay. We can redirect this easy peasy. I wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit of AoE, though. Let's see it. Ground Terra Moth. That is... Iron Hands, big sad. Yeah, Sludge Wave. Good play. Good play. We just lose. That's just game. Didn't Spoon get knocked off? No, they never hit me. Yeah, it's game. We just lost. Hey, what do you do in that situation? So that's another example of, like, bro, we don't have speed control. If we had Trick Room, we'd be absolutely fine against all of these things. Like, you gotta have Trick Room. And, like, we can send out this Flutter, but we still don't even outspeed with it. So it's really, really hard here. I don't think there's a single way that we can win here. Because we also, our Flutter Main's full HP defense. We don't even have the special attack to be able to break them off. So it's probably just going to be game. And that's like what sort of happens in these situations. I don't think there's anything we can realistically do. You can try moving an Energy Ball, but we have to wait out the Tinkaton's Gigaton Hammer. So we'll try that. And we can't go for Fake Outs. There's nothing really to do here. You might as well just go for like a Drain Punch into the Tinkaton, which isn't like damage at all. It's interesting, but it doesn't get us anything because we're also orbs, so it's like super counterproductive. Oh, and they just nuke the hands, bro! Disrespect! And what are we supposed to do in this situation? Like, this is what happens when you don't have control of the board through speed. You just get absolutely murdered by anyone that wants to just be a little bit proactive. Let's see, they have Arcanine in the back. And we're going to be waiting out... Ooh, are we outspeeding that Tinkaton? No way, that's weird. What is our set on hands? Why are we outspeeding a Tinkaton? No, we didn't outspeed them. I think... Oh, they went for Gigaton. Yeah, we just blocked it. Okay. Yeah, and we're full attack. Spadef on the hands, too. It's such a weird set. We have to go for the Energy Ball here, which probably doesn't even KO. And... let's just go for a Protect and try elongate Iron Hand's presence on the board. They should be nuking it in for Arcanine. So they should be, like, going after this slot. I'm not gonna lie, like, there are shots. We can KO Arcanine. We can KO Tinkaton. There are things we can do here. It depends on if we can even KO this Moth with our 0 special attack Flutter, right? Heat Wave. They're faster than us still, too. Like, do you see, like, how, like, unwinnable it is to play the game without speed control? Yeah, I mean, we don't die, but, it's rough. And we don't even get the KO because we have no speed control and we have no offensive pressure. So, we're going to be changing a lot of things with this team. And, yeah, it's just so rough. It's just so rough. So, we'll go into one more and see if we can get something done. But, again, let's go back and talk about the EVs and stuff real quick. You can see that we have, like, literally, like, no speed. We have 4 speed right there. It's set to level 100. It should be set to 50. No speed here. No speed here. No speed here. Armor has speed, but it's 75. And so, like, if our fastest Pokemon is a base 75 mon, I would say it's impossible to win against a moderately competent opponent. Alright, Dozo Tatsu. You don't need as much speed control for Dozo Tatsu. There's nothing we can really do against Liliko other than switching in T-Tar. Garg's a bit weird. I would say against Garg, something like Great Tusk is really good. But against Dozo, we just don't have the damage to be able to be a bully versus it. You know, like, we can go hands, but, like, they can just Earthquake us out. And we don't have Wide Guard either. So, I think what we're going to do for this matchup is go... I think you can go hands Armor Rouge. And we can go for, like, we're even going to try the Flutter. Just try it. And go for, like, Wild Charge plus, like, Grass, like, just all in on that thing. I realize, too, speed control has been a problem for the team, and Eevee's need a lot of work. Yeah, we're going to fix it. Don't worry about it. We're going to fix it. I don't think that Indeedee does what we need it to do here. We can redirect to Follow Me, but it's a little bit late. They're probably going to go, like, Dozo Tatsu. I think you can bring in T-Tar. It's either T-Tar or Tusk, and I'm not a fan of Tusk versus Dozo, so we'll bring in T-Tar. Alright, let's try this. But yeah, I think the team has good Mons. It just needs to really optimize the sets. And then we'll see what we can get done. We will see what we can get done. They shouldn't lead Liliko versus T-Tar. Okay. Garg. I'm gonna laugh at they Assault Cure their Tatsu, bro. Okay. I actually think this might just KO. Like, Drain Punch into it, plus, like... Actually, Wild Charge plus Energy Ball might just get the KO. We could even swap in Indeedee and go for an Expanding. I don't think there's a problem with that. Oh, we didn't bring Indeedee. Is this a team fix? It is, yeah. We might be able to get the KO if they stay in like that. If they don't Terra, they're dead. If they do Terra, they can't Terra their Dozo. And this is the only, like, shot we would have. I do like that we're terastallizing away our fire typing, so, like, they can't just go for, like, a Protect Guard Muddy Water. I mean, they can still do that, get extra drops, but, like, we're not just going to lose both of our mons to it either. So, see what happens? Taunt. They're trying to stop Trick Room. Little do they know we can't use it! Alright, so hopefully we get the KO here. Energy Ball, Grass, Terra. This is where a Life Orb would be a little bit better than, like, a Twisted Spoon, since we have so... The rule of thumb here is if you have more than 2 different types of moves, Life Orb's so much better than just a 1.2, because you're giving a 1.3 to 3 different types of moves than a 1.2 to just 1. Yes, it's just going to cost some of your health, but, like, it's just a pretty optimal way to use it. So... take out that Garg. Like, that Garg was big problems. Okay? And they're like, yes, I've stepped Trick Room. And they're going to bring in Dozo. They're going to want to click EQ. And, like, I get the board here. Like, I get it. I see what you're all about here. I'm trying to think of what I actually want to use. Are you going to go Steel Terra? Are you actually going to Steel Terra EQ me? Because if you Steel Terra Earthquake me, I just lose. Right? I have no Flying Switch in. I have very little... Dude, I could have just KO'd that Tatsu, bro. It's fine. I can't Protect. I'm gonna swap in T-Tar. Can't Protect. I kind of want to just go for the Armor Cannon. I'll go for the Energy Ball. Keep him honest. I'll keep him honest. We stay keeping you honest out here. Never forget when the guy on ladder went Steel Terra Dozo in front of my Torkoal. Yeah, dude, that was nuts. Single Shot Gamer, how's it going? How goes it? Welcome. They're terastallizing, so we just probably lose. Dude, go ground Terra. Steel Terra? Has to be. Grass. Same thing. I could have just went for an armor cannon. Armor cannon would have done a crap ton of damage. Let's see what they're doing. EQ, right? We still outspeed them, even with the Tatsu boosts. Their last mon has to be Flamigo. Special drop. Never lucky. Order up in my... Ugh. Dude, not dead, not dead. We hold. Are you getting a speed boost, though? Defense. Okay, defense is fine. We don't care about defense. Ain't no one caring about defense. And let's see if they actually have... Let's see if they have... a leftovers. No leftovers. Okay. So... I guess... low kick? There's nothing else to do here. Right? Rock Slide can totally miss, and I don't want it to. It's not like we're going to flinch it, so you might as well just low kick it. Dozo's heavy, right? Damage. I wonder if it's Citrus Dozo? Maybe it's like Lum Rest Dozo? I just got a crit. Let's go, cannon! Oh, dude, the damage! That cannon, though! Dude. What a cannon. Alright, low kick T-Tar, come on. Aqua Tail? Oh my god, it's Aqua Tail. Alright, so we're going to lose Armourouge, but I think T-Tar is going to be able to get this. Dude, I think we're going to get this with T-Tar. Show me that low kick. The low blow T-Tar. Ah! Dude, unlucky. We got the Sandstorm, though. It's fine. That's funny. It's better than Rock Slide, though. I could have totally missed, so we still made the right play. Alright. Tatsu's gonna basically die. The last mon should be Flamigo, right? Last mon should be Flamigo. I think you just send out hands and re-fake out pin. You don't even have to show Flutter at this point. Okay. Yeah. Nice boost, boys! Oh, that's funny. Is Overprotect still toxic? No, I think you can just go for a fake out, right? So at this point, you can just go for like a Rock Slide and a fake out. Because they already Terra'd, so they can't go like Ghost Terra. Yeah. Protect. So it's basically doing the same thing. And now next turn, I can double protect, right? Next turn, I double protect. Like, you can go for it. Oh my god, he's nasty plotting. Dude, good thing I didn't double protect, right? Good thing I didn't double protect. I mean, I'm hoping that I hit this Rock Slide. Yeah. Get him, T-Tar. That's right. Critical hit, T-Tar. Alright. What a god. Yo, I know, right? And at this point, we're fine. We take the wins. So we were able to win this one, right? But that's because this was a game with 0 speed control. I'm surprised we outsped their Dozo, but like, you know, it's a game with 0 speed control, so we were able to win, but I wouldn't even say that like this game let us realize something we didn't know before. It was kind of just a good matchup, and we got lucky. So what we're going to do now is fixing the team. I think it played about as good as it could have played. It just doesn't have the speed control. So what we're going to be doing is giving ourselves a little bit more proactive options to force our opponent to react to what we're doing instead of just hoping they lead with what we want to counter and then countering that with the slight amount of speed control we have on Armourouge's base 75 speed. So again, we're going to take a look at Showdown and go fix everything right over there. Look at this, like this professional YouTuber extraordinaire, THATSAplusONE. Like I've said before, I'm going to make my face a little bigger too because I'm so vain. And then we're going to move the chat over as well. Thank you guys for being such a captive audience while we do these. When does the tournament start? We're doing a tournament today on stream after this, and this starts in about 30 minutes. So take a look at this first mon here. I think Armourouge is fine, but we're going to start with T-Tar because I think T-Tar definitely needs a lot of work. I think that like Terra Blast on Ghost Terra T-Tar is a little bit of a waste. It doesn't really give you that much. And what I think, if we're thinking about adding speed control to these sort of sets, I would definitely think about putting Thunder Wave here, because you can just protect with any of your mons, weave in a Thunder Wave, and now that mon can function at a great speed tier. It allows things like Great Tusk and Armourouge to outspeed mons that would normally give them a lot of problems, like Dragapult, like Flutter Mains, potentially other stuff like that. So I think it's very, very important to think about Thunder Wave. It's one of my favorite sets, and if you're already using leftovers on T-Tar, it's a no-brainer. If you want to stick with the Ghost Terra, it's absolutely fine as well. I think it's really, really cool. Low kick is for like the T-Tar mirror, but I've actually found that what I like is Taunt here. And I feel like this moveset's very weird because, like, what do you mean I could only use Rock Slide? It's like, that's the point. You know, it's like you only really need Rock Slide. T-Tar has, this is for like Amoonguses, this is for Sweepers and other Mons. You can also like side Thunder Wave your other Mons to make it so they are unaffected by sleep. So like if your opponent's Amoongus has like a Mental Herb, you can side Thunder Wave your Flutter Mane to make it immune to Spore, which is actually pretty cool. You don't see it happen that often. As far as these EVs go, we're gonna get to the EVs after we fix all of our movesets. Great Tusk here. I think AV Great Tusk is, I'm just gonna say it, I think it's throwing. Headlong Rush drops your defensive stats, so like putting all this points in HP, which gives you huge diminishing returns on a lot of things. Another thing we have to do is set all these things to level 50. Let's just do that. It's going to be giving you huge diminishing returns, and at that point you'd be better off just playing it with like a Sash or something. So let's set all these guys to level 50, which is going to be pretty important, because remember, EVs are done differently at level 50 than they are at level 100. Alright. Is T-Tar outspeeding King Gambit? We might have to check. But anyways, I think you can keep Headlong Rush. I think you can keep things like Heavy Slam, because you want to go for that Steel Terra Heavy Slam, I get it. You can keep things like Knockoff if you really wanted to. I would be cutting the Knockoff here, because what are you knockoffing? Leftovers? Just KO something. Is something have like a booster energy? Well, then Knockoff doesn't even do anything either. 90% of the time, even if Knockoff's doing like a ton of damage, you'd be better off just using like a Headlong Rush or even like a Close Combat. Not having like a fighting move on this Pokemon, I would say is pretty not great. And then I don't think you actually need Ice Spinner because it clashes really hard with the fact that we need Psychic Terrain. So I would just put Protect here, and I'd probably be changing this item to a Focus Sash. And this is not Socks. He probably needs Socks too though. So Focus Sash is what I'd be putting right here. And then we're going into Flutter Mane. Life Orb's fine. This moveset's fine if you want to keep the Grass Terra. I think realistically it'd be nice to see like an Icy one here to enable our other mons to do well, but it's absolutely fine if you want to keep this Terra Grass. Like if you're something you're comfortable with, that's fine. It's unique. It's very unique, and it makes it immune to Amoonguss Rage Powders and stuff like that, so you can go for big Moonblast. The only thing I would say is if this was my set, I'd want to use Dazzling Gleam over Moonblast. But if you're comfortable with this, no, actually, it doesn't matter if you're comfortable with this. This is wrong. We're not going to do it. Right? We're not doing it. I can't sit idly by. You need Protect on this Pokemon. You need Protect on this Pokemon. You need Icy One on this Pokemon. It's super important to enable your other teammates to do well, especially the Great Tusk. And then from there, I'd go Shadow Ball, Dazzling Gleam. And we would change this Terra to... There's 4 or 5 other things you would do, but I would probably just go Steel here. Just because it gives you an advantage in the Flutter Mane matchup. And like you can wall other... Like, you basically lose all your weaknesses and basically gain, like, resistances, and you don't take Sandstorm damage, which is pretty good. Hands with a Fire Terra. This is a good moveset. We're going to change the EVs and the items, but we want to change this to Assault Vest. And the best move on this Pokemon, no joke, no smoke, it's going to be Volt Switch, so you can reap him with Fake Out. Fake Out is its best move. This means more of it, and it gets you out of dodge for Intimidates, and we can, like, Volt Switch in to, like, Armors or other Mons once we want to go for Trick Room. It's so, so, so nice. Indeedee. This is a decent moveset, but you gotta have Trick Room. If you need a Trick Room Indeedee, I could probably like do some raids and help you find one, but you can't not have Trick Room on this thing. So important. I would also say that you can go Ghost or Fairy Tale here. They're very, very good, but I would recommend Ghost here so you can avoid Mousehold. And here we are. We are at the Armors. You still want to keep the Grass Terra, but I would definitely put Trick Room on it. It's just that simple. Trick Room's gonna be really, really good. And we're going to change our EVs to be able to better capitalize off the fact that we have like Thunder Waves over here, we have Icy Winds over here, we have multiple Trick Rooms over here. So this is what the team's going to look like moveset wise, and we're going to start taking a look at all of our EVs and cleaning them up. So Tyranitar, you want Tyranitar to be able to function at +2, but also or -2 from our opponents, but also still work in a Trick Room. So you don't want to go like a full speed T-Tar. That's a bit of a waste, right? Realistically, T-Tar doesn't need to get that fast. I would say T-Tar, if T-Tar could get to 90, that's outspeeding Mousehold if you have Thunder Wave on it. So that's technically worth it. That's going to be about 84, maybe a little bit less, so probably like 68. Yeah, 68 points is going to be pretty good. 68 points is enough to outspeed Mousehold if you get a Thunder Wave on it or 2 Icy Winds or something from that. It's also going to be able to outspeed most other Mons, so like you should be confident that this T-Tar can outspeed a bunch of like middle of the pack Mons, like bulky Pelipper's, Sylveons, and things like that. After that, I'm a huge fan of putting the majority of points in Tyranitar's HP. You don't even realistically need to put like points in offense. You can just throw the rest of these points in bulk in any way that you feel it. I would probably do like a 4. I'd go 100 in Spadef because it's going to be soaking a lot more special attacks. It's going to be switching in on things that are good against Armor Rouge. So it's going to be switching in on like ghost attacks, dark attacks, things like that. And when we want to compound that with our Sandstorm boost to our special defense on our rock typing. So I would do something like that. You just throw the rest of the points right here. So very, very bulky T-Tar. And we want to obviously go nature in this spot too. Very, very bulky T-Tar, right? And the whole point is just like get as many leftovers procs as we can, taunt the things that we can, thunderwave the things we can. Very, very simple. This is also good at like taunting other mons that are like hard trick room. So like for example, you can taunt like Oran Gurus, you can taunt like what is it? You can taunt the Far Giraffes and things like that. Really, really cool set on T-Tar. Great Tusk is a little bit easier. You don't need to bloat this HP stat any more than it already is. And I think realistically, you can just go 252. And I'm a fan of 252, 252 on this guy. It's a sash one, so you can get away with it. And what I actually really do like is just the full speed nature. And this forces things like Arcanine to have a plus speed nature. This is what you want to pair with Flutter Mane. If we take a look at Great Tusk here. So let's go take a look at Great Tusk right here. And we set to level 50 and we give it like a 252. Let's give it a +1, which would basically be the calcs from something like a Flutter Mane Icy Wind out of something. It's going to go to 208, right? Which is just fast enough. It's just fast enough. We take a look at something like an Iron Bundle. So like an Iron Bundle on this side, and we were to give it like 252 Timid Nature, which is a standard bundle for like a Sash bundle. If we can hit that Sash bundle with, I gotta set to 50, sorry. With an Icy Wind, this would break the Sash, and then Great Tusk outspeeds by 1 point, and this is also speed creeping things that speed creep bundle by 1 point. So that's with Adamant Nature, right? And so I think that you can go Adamant Nature. I think there are arguments to maybe made for Timid as well, or sorry, not Timid, Jolly as well. But those would be at like the +2 calcs in like the 304 category, but you don't even need it. So I think that you're fine going with the Adamant Nature there, not Jolly. I thought it was actually just a little bit slower than it was. So yeah, it's good. You could go Jolly to make sure Arcanines have to be Jolly outspeed you or Timid outspeed you, but this also works. You're just going to be a Sashmon. You hit hard, you hit fast. It's basically all you need to do. You can even think about cutting Heavy Slam for like Earthquake for a little bit of AoE, but we don't have the right mons to follow that up with. Flutter Mane. I think we're going to take the Life Orb here and put a Booster. I think Booster into Speed is going to make this thing really, really fast, and it forces our opponent's bundles to also be bundles with Booster as well. This thing just comes in, Icy Winds, and enables its teammates to do really well. So you can lead like Blunder Tusk, sorry, Flutter Tusk, and go Icy Wind, break Sashes, and have Great Tusk just one-shot something in the back. And so for this EV spread, very, very easy. You just click the button. I would take this last 4 and put that in HP just because it's such a low number. You're going to get better returns here, but you're going to be able to get big speed off this thing. And so I think it's just a better way to run this Pokemon. It's really, really one-dimensional, but it really does work. Iron Hands is going to be a little bit different. It's one of those mons. If we take a look at Iron Hands, let's plug in an Iron Hands on this side. You may think that you need to go like heavy into attack. Let's take a look at like, let's think of a mon that Iron Hands is going to fight relatively often, Arcanine. Alright, so let's just assume we go Fire Terra or that he can't Wisp us, right? Because that's going to be the matchup, right? So if we were to plug in like, oh, we're going to plug in like a Thunder Punch here. Not Thunder Shock. And we're going to plug in like a Drain Punch. They're like the same thing, basically. Drain Punch down here. I have it on Thunder Shock still. Perfect. So if we plug in both these, right, you can see they do like 40 to 49, right? And if we were to put like full attack investment, it goes from 40 to 49. So it's like 49 to 51. So it's like a 10% boost for full investment. That's such a waste. It's such a bloated stat. Basically, you'd get the same amount by just going like an Adamant Nature. It's not as much, but it's about 60% of that value. And remember, if you're fighting Arcanine, you're coming with an Intimidate, right? So it is currently with this investment, it is a 3-hit KO. It's a 50%. It's almost a 50% chance to 3-hit KO with either of these moves. If you were to go full investment, it's a 3-hit KO, but just barely, right? So it's not worth the investment to go heavy into hands. It really just isn't. It's one of those things that looks really good on paper, but the more you look at it, you got to realize, yes, this is a huge base attack stat, but none of Iron Hands' moves actually have a high base damage themselves. So you have a high number, but you're giving a low multiplier to it. So that being said, I would just go Adamant. And then what I would do is go 252 into Spadef. Throw about 156 in here. I like to put about 12 into defense, sorry, into speed, so I can outspeed other Iron Hands, and just throw the rest over here, so like 84 and 4. So you're basically still about as strong as you were, but you're so much bulkier. You get huge diminishing returns if you just go full into HP or full into like other stats like that. So I think it's just a much better set. As for the Indity, there's nothing wrong with this, but you can optimize it, right? I think Indity should definitely have about 12 points to be able to outspeed other Indities. If you want to have Dazzling Gleam over Psychic, that's your prerogative. It gives you a better matchup for things like Roaring Moon, which is okay. I like having Psychic so I can Psychic Pelipers, but I don't think this team struggles with Pelipper because that has T-Tar as an option. But the one thing you want to do with Psychic Seeds is there's a small place where you can actually get a double dip and get more points out of your Psychic Seeds. If you go 196 with Nature, you can see it's going to be... So the difference between 196, we get to 165. If we take 1 point out, we go to 163. So we're double dipping the fact that like that's our Nature plus this, and we get an extra point out of going to 196. So I would do that, and then I would just cut this up into like a 444. Another thing you could do with Indity is make it like super hyper aggressive and make it like full speed, full special attack, and just chunk things with like a Psychic or D-Gleam and stuff like that. But I don't think you need to do that. How do you know the current HP? How do I know the correct HP? I've just used Iron Hands a million times. Basically, the correct HP is any HP stat that doesn't double a respective defense. And yes, we're doubling our special defense, but we're vested. So we basically have a 180 defense on this Pokemon, and we have a 139. So this would double into being lower than our base HP, so we're not wasting points in that spot. But yeah, decent Indity spread here. Armor is going to be a little bit different. We need just a little bit of speed so we can function after Flutter Mane or T-Tar. So just a little bit. I'd say I like to go 68. This is going to double to be faster than that bundle if you can hit the Thunder Wave on the bundle. And it's better to Thunder Wave the bundle than just go for like Rock Slides into it because bundle has such a good base defense. So this is still going to let you outspeed some things, but you don't need that much speed that you had before. And then from there, what you want to do is we're going to change this to the Life Orb. This is where the Life Orb that Flutter had was going. And what you want to do is end the last number and its HP with a 9. And in doing that, you're going to take one less hit point from every single tick of that Life Orb because it takes 10% of your health. So that's going to, let's see, we have 184 points left. It's going to be like, is it 156? No, it's 144. 144, sorry, 148 right there. Ends it in that, and then we can just do like a 20-20 here. And so another thing that I also like to recommend is because we're going so bulky, I like Heat Wave. I don't like Armor Cannon. If you like Armor Cannon, you can keep it 100%. Ain't no problem with that. I like Heat Wave. I don't like investing points in bulk and then wasting them, right? And you're like, what about Wide Guard? It's like, yeah, that's the part of this that sucks. Wide Guard kind of messes us up. So if you really like Armor Cannon, I would say Armor Cannon is the easier one to play. I'm just not a fan. But we'll keep the Armor Cannon for this one because it was submitted like that. And I think you're probably gonna lose games of things with Wide Guard because like AoE, 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 AoE. You're gonna have a hard time with Wide Guard if you're not ready. So this is the fixed version, and we're gonna go play some games and see how it goes. All right, so we're gonna go up against Mischievous. I think the only situation you would ever see Mischievous is on an Imprison set. So they're probably gonna be using full Hyper Aggression and using that Mischievous to imprison Trick Room. There's a couple ways that we can play around that, but I think one of the better ones might be, let's see, we could just go Flutter because we just melt like half those. And we can't fake out the Mischievous. I think like Flutter Indity is actually really cool because they might not imprison that. And then we go Armor Rouge, and then I think you want to go Hands instead of Great Tusk. But it's dicey. Great Tusk is so good against half those. T-Tar is also not bad here. Rock Slide's good there. Rock Slide's good there. Let's just go Hands. Catch these Hands. Let's go. And we're waiting on them. And just start this up. Waiting on it. But yeah, Mischievous is actually an underrated mon. I think it's really underrated. I think even Zhang made a video featuring Mischievous relatively recently. There it is. You see they locked Mischievous in on the right-hand side too. That means they locked that thing in first. That means they're like, I know that I need this. It's so important. So they got a Core Drive into speed. We got a Core Drive into speed. So that means that we're showing, yo, this is what's happening. We're going to go fast. We're actually just going to go for a D-Gleam here. Good damage against both these, and I will try and Trick Room. I'm going to try and do it. I don't think you're going to imprison versus this because you see how fast I am, but actually, the win condition, even if we lose this Flutter, Armor Rouge and Iron Hands will clean up in the back, especially if we can force them to Terra away from Dark typing so they take big damage from Expanding Force. So I'll try and Trick Room. And survey says Snarl. Okay, okay. And are you imprisoning? That's so crazy if you're still imprisoned. Yeah, you're going for the hex. And you get a crit, but the trick room's up. And remember, we still under speed there. So what we're going to do is we're going to hard switch in Armor Rouge and just go for a Dazzle Loom. We're going to be able to finish that thing off. I think, right? Unless they terrestrialize into something weird. And then we actually save our Flutter Mane and get it out of dodge. So it's going to be good stuff. So you see how speed control is really important? Oh, dude, Goldango. Goldang D's, though. They can Trick Room our Trick Room here if they have it. Yep, there it is. And so in this situation, they're going to want to go for Imprison this turn. So we're just going to go for a help or an Armor Cannon in that slot. And probably I would Follow Me to be able to follow me a Shadow Ball. And so like Armor Cannon into there. Next turn we go Follow Me Trick Room if we're still around. Good play from our opponent. But that's definitely like an Imprison Mischievous. That's 100% why this Pokemon's on their team. And so their other move has to be Imprison. I wonder what they're going to do here. Pain Split is their last move. Okay, cool. Make it rain. Should be fine on the Armor slot. Yep. And I would love to take out this Mischievous. That'd be sick. Okay. So next turn, we can just go for an Armor Cannon. We can actually go... Let's think about this. Make it rain did 27% to Indeedee. So that actually means... Let's see. They're faster than us here. I don't want to Terra... This is greedy. Are you in prison? Oh. Oh, yeah, we got it. Another Trick Room. Yo. Trick Room round 2. Oh, my gosh. That was such a greedy turn for me. That's such a greedy turn. You see that speed control, boys and girls? It's so good. All right, so Psychic Terrain, last turn Psychic Terrain. Expanding Force would KO there. Dazzling Gleam would get the KO on the Jugulus. Yeah. And even if you want to switch in that Goldango, we underspeed the Goldango and get an Armor Cannon in it. You kind of see how, like, I was talking about Armor Cannon is really cool, but, like, he would have been melting that Goldango, though. So KO with Expanding Force, take a Life Orb tick, and then single target D-Gleam into that slot. Even at -1, we still get the KO. And they brought, like, a hard counter Imprisonment. It has to have Imprison, right? It totally does. That's why they led with it. And we just take those wins. So, yo, dude, we got gifted 5 subs. Yo, we take those all the way to the bank. Hopefully, you're learning stuff like in the concept PK God 30 gifted 5 subs. That's amazing. I cannot say thank you enough. That's so kind. That's so kind. It helps out so much. Can we put some subs up for that? Subs up for that. Literally helping us get to Charlotte Regionals all by themselves. Saving the stream. And that's what we like to see. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thank you, my friend. That's a lot of money. Just 25 big ones. So thank you. Thank you so much. And let's go into one more. Let's go into one more game. But you can see how, like, the slight changes that we made things a lot bulkier in the right way. We made things a lot stronger in the right way. And we gave ourselves very, very good speed control. So against this game, we see a little bit of Moth, Espathra. We can get up Trick Room versus this, unless that's an Imprison Indeedee. And against, like, an Imprison Indeedee, I think we're, like, low-key fine to just be a bully with a couple other things. We can even think about leading Tusk into some of this stuff. You can think about leading T-Tar into some of it as well. I don't think there's a problem with Indeedee Armor. I don't. And then... T-Tar is still good here, but I don't want to bring T-Tar versus hands, so I'll just bring Flutter and our own hands. Not a big fan of the hands mirror. But it is what it is. So let's see. They can go for Struggle Bug here. And what's a Death Boost on Espathra? I'm going to go Trick Room here. And I'm going to Expanding. What are you going to do? You can Bug Attack there. It won't KO. I'm going to be a greedy guy here. Greedy guy here. Normally they expect Follow Me Trick Room. I'm not Follow Me Trick Room. I'm going to go aggressive Trick Room. I want to have my cake and eat it too. There it is. No lefties on that Valk. So Valk will go down. Espathra's bulky in this spot. I can't believe did they Psychic Seeds me, man? That's crazy. So Valk's down. Single target D-Gleam. Not going to be doing a ton, but we're in a great spot here. Shadow Ball. And it's absolutely fine. They got a crit. Unlucky. They have leftovers. Alright, so we can KO with this. Let's see how much damage they took. They took 16%, so this is not that hot for me. Moth. My nemesis. We meet once again. Special attack boost, huh? That's going to be hard to deal with for hands. There's no reason, though, that we should just protect here. And I want to just go for the... I thought we made this Thunder Punch. Wild Charge is fine, but it is what it is. We're going to see a Terra there eventually, I think. Protect on its Pather. I wonder what this Pather set is. Double Protect, wait out Trick Room. Okay. I don't want to swap the Entity out. It's fine. Yeah. We just go into the Espather here. Opportunist? Yeah, it's Opportunist. No, it's cool. I don't need the Blissey. I got something else instead. It's okay. You can go for an attack here. We're not doing anything with that D-Gleam. Fiery Dance. Okay, okay. We still have Terra, so we can still go like Fire Terra to stop us from taking like massive damage from that thing. And it's their hands with Balloon, boys. Okay. So we don't actually underspeed that thing. I'm actually going to go for a Protect here. And I know this sounds really weird, but I'm going to Volt Switch the Moth. And the next time I'm going to go Follow Me. SD is scary. Come with the Flutter. Dazzling Gleam should be fine. Yep, we're good. And so next time we can just go Follow Me. So they have to break that. Actually, do we want to Follow Me? That's a good question. We don't have to Follow Me. We can even Protect here and Hard Switch in our hands. I like that a lot. And then we can reset like Fake Out pins. Because next they're going to... Let's see if they Protect with their hands here. Sludge Wave. Shoot, it's fine. Hit your own hands, pop your balloon like easy as peasiest. Wild Charge in that slot. Wow! That's a lot of damage. Let's actually think about what we want to do here. I think like Fake Out into the Moth. Moth's shown Protect already. This guy hasn't. So we can Fake Out Moth. And I think you just D-Gleam just to get some extra chip. So good damage there. This should be able to take out the hands. Yeah, because it wasn't vested. Because it showed Sword Stance. And then now we just double into that slot and we win. So the team, you can see, changing things around just a little bit gave us so much more fluid like ability. I really like the Volt Switch on this thing. It's like basically just what makes this Pokemon work. And we should be fine. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, Sludge Wave. Not going to be enough to take us out. And now we're so bulky and we take those wins. So hopefully you liked the changes. Again, if we take a look at like the team submission post, I liked how like they said the team like punished a bunch of different stuff. Like pretty standard. Let's see what it actually said. I usually would like with Entity, so another thing I like doing is clicking Expanding Force and pivoting Entity in. For some reason, most people don't expect to click Expanding Force. This team like takes that to the next level and gives us a lot more situations where we can just like be a bully and dictate play and force our opponent to react to us instead of us like reacting to what they're doing. Like a play where we have to swap in to enable another mon to punish them if they lead incorrectly. That's a little bit like reactive. We want to say, meet us at this level first, and if you can force us to do that, we will. So hopefully you guys like this little team fixing. We don't normally do these live, right? We don't normally do these live. And if you guys want to see more of these live as opposed to like seeing them in YouTube videos, let me know. I do not mind doing these live. It's just we have to move the windows around a lot. So yeah, again, the rental code for the original one, if we take a look at that again over here, I really like the changes we made to the Great Tusk. I really like the changes we made to the T-Tar. I really like the changes we made to the Flutter, the hands. The armors in Indy have so much more value, and I think it was just a good team fixing overall. So pretty good to see it.